Okay, thank you. Okay, Siman Yud Zayin, Hilchos Kriya Shema, Uba Yud Sifim, 10 Sifim, yeah? Hascholas man Kriya Shema Shel Shachas U'Kamay Zman Tefillin. It's the same thing as the Zman of Tefillin. V'nimshach Zmana ad Reviyas Hayoim, and the Zman stretches until a quarter of the day. Right? Bein Shahayim, that's 3 hours into the day, right? Because it's 12 hours in a day, 3 hours, right? That's Reviyas Hayoim. Bein Shahayim, Aruch, Bein Kitzur, whether the day is long, whether the day is short. Which means what we call shoyes manius, meaning a day is not 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of night. What we do is we take the daylight, split it, divide it by 12, and that's an hour. So in the winter, like right about now, a halachic hour is around 48 minutes. In the summer, a halachic hour is about an hour and 12 minutes. Right? And then and then when do you consider day? From dawn till nightfall, or from sunrise to sunset? So that's a big machlokes. That's one of the biggest machlokes in Klal Yisrael. The Gra held that we calculate from sunrise to sunset, and the Magen Avram calculates from dawn until seis, until nightfall, which means that the Magen Avram's hours are much longer than the Gra's hours. But his day starts from Alois. So that's why the Magen Avram's man is always earlier than the Gra's man. I hope I'm being clear with this. The Magen Avram's man is always earlier because let's say nowadays, so Nets, I don't know what time Nets is in New York. Let's say Nets would be 6:30. So according to the Gra, 3 hours into the day would be, let's say, 9:30. Let's assume it's a 12-hour day. So according to the Gra, you have to read Kriya Shema again. If Nets is at 6:30, according to the Gra, you have to read Kriya Shema by 9:30. According to the Magen Avram, you don't start to count from 6:30. You start to count from 5:18. Right, that's when dawn is. Right, so 3 hours from 5:18 would be 8:18. Way earlier than the Gra. Only thing is, the Magen Avram calculates the day from dawn until nightfall, so his hours are longer. So that's basically why Magen Avram's man is earlier than Gra, and the interestingly, Kitzur Shulchan Aruch paskins like the Magen Avram. He goes with the Magen Avram. The Litvish, for the most part, as far as I understand, go with the Gra. We try and be machmir for the Magen Avram, but we ultimately go with the Gra. The real most choicest is to read it kivasikin. Now, what does vasikim mean? People think vasikim means early. Vasikim does not mean early. Vasikim means, I don't know, mine I have it in brackets. A vasikim means somebody who loves mitzvahs. So that ultimate, somebody who loves mitzvahs wants to start off the day with the proper time, so that's Shema and Shemar Esrei. Sheyu mechaven l'kroisa ma'at koydem netzachama, that they give mechaven to read it a little bit before netzachama. They sheyisayim kriya Shema u'berchaseh, so they mesayim kriya Shema and the brachas ima netzachama, v'yismach lo atfila, and then you daven. Right? U'misha yuchel l'chaven lasses kain schorei meruba ma'od. That's a very strong lashon. If you're able to daven nets, then you get a lot of schar. You have to be very careful. At the minimum, you have to be very careful. You got to make sure that you don't push it off later than 1/3 of the day. Especially in the summer, when the days are very long, meaning the days start very early. Because again, he's a Magen Avram. He goes to the Magen Avram. He's always an earlier man. He says sometimes you could have this man at 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 hours, 7 hours, 7 hours. In Eretz Yisrael now, Magen Avram's man is 8 a.m. Right, and a lot of the yeshivas try to be makbid on the Magen Avram, so they start Shabbos davening. In Mir Yeshiva, I think Shabbos davening starts before 7 a.m. on Shabbos. But the if this man passes, you're allowed to read Kriya Shema with the brachas ad shlish until 1/3 of the day, which is man tefillah, which is 4 hours into the day. But after that, it is also to say Birchas Kriya Shema Elohim Kriya Shema levad afilu kol hayom. Then you could say it even the whole day. You hear what he's saying? The Kitzur's paskening If you miss Mount Tefillah, you are not allowed to say Birchas Kriya Shema. It's a bracha levatala. The Maisa, we paskin that you're allowed to say Birchas Kriya Shema until Chatzos. Yeshem Degama brachas Yachal Leimer Kol Hayom Adam Sariyot. He brings it himself. Yeshem that you could say the brachas all day, but I don't think we go with that either because that means the whole day past Chatzos. So that I don't think one should do. Base. You're allowed to say Kriya Shema whether you're sitting, whether you're standing. But if you were sitting, also lahachmer v'lamad, you can't say, "Oh, I'm going to stand up for Kriya Shema." No, you have to sit. It's also to read it when you're laying down. But if you're already laying down, then yates atzmei al tzidai, lean yourself onto the side, mamish, like straight onto the side, yikra, and then read it. And if you're a chayla, mamish, it's very hard for you to lay on your left side, on your side. I'm sorry, then you have to at least lean a little bit. Right? This is talking about in the morning. At night, it's more makel.
Why the side? Why the side? Why does the side make a difference as opposed to laying on your back?
Because it's more respectful. So at least you're showing some sort of effort to lay on your back and read Kriya Shema. I think that's a shot. To lay on your back and read Kriya Shema is like, what do you think you are? You know.
So, but some people sleep on their side.
Yes, but really halach, you're supposed to sleep on the side. Yeah, that's true. You're not supposed to sleep on your back. That's a different. We'll get to that. Okay, Gimel. Kaidem shiyaschel. Before you start Kriya Shema, yechaven lotzis mitzvahs Kriya Shema. You should have kavana to read Kriya Shema. Shetzivanu Kadosh Baruch Hu, that Hashem commanded us to read Kriya Shema. Amrei Shema Yisrael. When you say Shema Yisrael, yechaven is a pirush. That you mechaven what it means, which is Shema Yisrael. Listen, Yisrael. Ki Hashem. Shu Elokeinu, Hashem is our God. Hu Hashem echad yachid u'meyuchad. He is the one and is a yachid u'meyuchad b'shamayim u'ba'aretz. He's the only one that controls heavens and the earth. That's what we're supposed to have in mind when we say Shema. V'yarech b'ches shel echad, like echad, k'dei sheyamlech hakadosh baruch hu b'shamayim u'ba'aretz. You want to say echad, so that you want to say it long enough to have in your head that, oh, it's for Shemayim and in the aretz. Ubadalid yarech kitzas gamkin. You're also supposed to extend the dalid now. Why? Shir shiyashav hakadosh baruch hu yachid ba'elamai u'mayshel ba'ar baruch ha'solim. You're supposed to think when you're saying echad because it's saying Hashem is one. So we're supposed to think in our head that He's the only one in the world, and He rules on the four in all like north, south, east, and west. But how do you Dalit is not a echad you could do. The ches you could do. How do you lengthen a dalit? Duh, because if you do it's gonna then you're changing the word. Which he's going to say. You should not lengthen any more than that. B'yadaktek shaloy yikalkal kriyas ateva echad. You should be medaktek that you should not mess up even one word. Al yidei mashamarach kitzas. That you're marachin it a little bit. Because there are some people that mess it up. Right, which is no good. That's also no good. It's better if you're not sure how to do it, which I don't have any idea to do it. If you're not sure,
just better ask how would you do it?
Yeah, I mean basically you do echod.
So you're stretching out the cha, not the duh.
Right. So you're supposed to do both. You're supposed to do the cha and the duh, right?
Yeah. So how do you do the duh without going duh?
Right. So that's a problem. So then don't do it. I don't
Better not to do it.
There are some that say that they're being marach the cha long enough that it covers the dalit too, something like that. But he says
in Eretz Yisrael, we had a share with somebody said in Panovich the way they were taught was you just enunciate echad like a normal person.
Right, that's what it says right here. Umutav, right, very good. Umutav shaloi laharach milaharach ulakalka. Better don't go at length than to go at length and bust it up. Now you can loimer as Shema Yisrael b'kol ram lo'ir kavan. You're supposed to say Shema loud because that makes you have more kavan. Masimin yad yumin aloinayim. Put your right hand on your eyes. And then after you say echad, you wait a little bit and then say Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusay L'Olam V'ed b'lachash in a whisper. Chutz miYom Kippurim except for Yom Kippur. U'tzrichen lechaben boi gam kain pirush hamilus. You also have to know what you're saying. Dalid Shaya Ma'at. You wait a little bit. V'aymer v'hafta. V'goymer and then you finish v'hafta. V'chein bein parsha zu leparshas v'yim shemaya yafsik ma'at. There's always has to be a little bit of break in between each one. V'chein kaidem v'yomer yafsik ma'at. Yichamer parshas v'yomer, and you have to kavan in the parshas v'yomer l'kayim mitzvahs asay sechiras yitzias mitzrayim. You have to remember that by v'yomer we're supposed to have in mind that there's a mitzvah to mention mitzrayim during the day and at night. Hey, tzarich l'kras kriyas shema b'tiktuk gadol. You have to do it with tiktuk gadol, meaning you have to make sure you know how to read the words properly. From a siddur that's meduyuk very well. The yashmiya, the aznav, you have to let your ears hear mashu maitzim mipiv, what you take out from your mouth. V'yashkiach, meaning what comes out of your mouth, it should be read loud enough that you could hear it. V'yashkiach shelo yarma dagush b'makim rafa, ay rafa b'makim dagush. You shouldn't emphasize words that you're not supposed to, and de-emphasize, I don't know if that's a word, when you're supposed to emphasize. Right? Like it's uk shartum, not ukish shartum, I think. I don't even remember. I'm saying when it's something like that, so you have to know. Anytime you have a line in the siddur, you have to make sure you stop. Right? Anytime you have two letters, the last letter in the word is the same as the first letter of the next word, so you could do it as a run-on. Right? Or if the last letter is a mem and the first letter is an aleph, so then it could sound like the whole thing is straight. And meaning it's one big word. And in Pesukah you have to do that too. You have to make sure you do the ayin of nishba. So that's why sometimes if you go, you hear nishba or nishban, all sorts of strange noises coming out of people's mouths. Nishma. Kilo Amar Nishba Behei. The reason why they're doing that is because you say Nishba and it's a hey, so it sounds like captured. Right? V'chein bezayin shel tizkeru. Right? V'shel zachartem, yidaktaketem, should be from those, make sure you say them as a zayin, not as a sin. Shlei nishma kilo Amar besin, as if it's reading it with a sin. Right? And again, Kriya Shema, because it's a mitzvah d'oraisa, so then we have to make sure we read it clearly. When you're reading Kriya Shema, don't mess with your eyes. And don't make sounds with your mouth. Don't look at your fingers. But for the tzarich mitzvah, when you're in Vahaya, that's the second parsha, then you are allowed to make with your eyes. Right? Meaning if somebody needs something with you, so if it's during Vahafta, you have to ignore them. But once you hit the Vahaya and it's something important, then you're allowed to say. You're allowed not say, you're allowed to signal. When you start with Vahaviyenu, so there's a whole order over here. You take the tzitzis in your hand, during Kriya Shema, you hold them in your left hand, between the kmitza, which is this hand, I think we call the ring finger, and the pinky. Keneged liboy, and hold it opposite your heart. Then once you get to Vayomer, which is Pasha Tzitzis, then you hold it in your left and right hand. And then when you say Re'isa Masai, referring to the Tzitzis, you put the Tzitzis on your eyes, and you stare at them, and then you kiss them. Anytime you say the word tzitzis, you kiss them, and you hold on to them, which is halfway through v'yatziv. Then you kiss them and leave them from your hands. Now, if you go to yeshivas, you'll see a lot of Rosh Yeshivas don't do this. They don't even gather the tzitzis. I don't know exactly what's going on, but it seems like Miniga yeshivas is not to do this.
So, and what about covering your eyes when you say Shema, which you mentioned before? A lot of Rosh Yeshivas don't.
I don't know, because he brings in the footnote here that some say you don't have to. But yeah, there's different minhagim in yeshivas. Now, for those tuning in late, tomorrow night I'll be traveling, so I will not be able to have shir. So we're gonna go to the end. So then we'll make up the rest Be'ez Hashem Tuesday. Ches be'amrei ani Hashem Elokeichem. When you say ani Hashem Elokeichem, yomer miyad gam tevas emes. You have to say the word emes too, shaloi lahafsik beineim, because you're not mafsik between them. As we know, the parsha of Shema of Vayomer ends with ani Hashem Elokeichem. It doesn't end with ani Hashem Elokeichem emes. Emes is the part of the next chapter, next paragraph. V'gam shliach tzibur omer kein b'chayz Vayomer Hashem Elokeichem emes. Right? V'yichaven kol echad l'shmaya shalosh tevas elu mipi shliach tzibur. Everybody should have kavanah to hear this on the Shliach Tzibur. Ki be'elu shalosh tevas nishnu ramach tevas b'kriyas Shema. That will get us to 248 tevas in Kriyas Shema. Keneged ramach evarim sheba'adam, opposite the 248 evarim that are in a person. Maschilin echad achar kach v'yatziv, and then you start v'yatziv. I will also learn oida pam emes, but you're not supposed to say emes twice. You're supposed to say emes and then v'yatziv. U'mishum espal b'yechidus, and somebody who's davening alone, yomer koydem Kriyas Shema kel melech nemon lahashla b'shalosh tevas elu minyan ramach. So the only time you're supposed to say kel melech nemon is when you're saying the entire Kriyas Shema and you're saying it alone. Otherwise, you should not be saying kel melech nemon. The question always becomes is if you're not up to the minyan and you're davening yourself, so should you say kel melech nemon or not? Even though in the minyan that you're in and you were there, you heard him say Hashem Elokeichem emes, you just weren't up to Shema. So I'm not sure. Test. If you stop the middle of Kriya Shema, dainu mit Shema Yisrael ad al haaretz, from Shema Yisrael until al haaretz, which is the right before Vayomer machmas einis shayim muchruch lahavsik. Let's say you had an einis, you had to go to the bathroom. You had to go to the bathroom to do your needs. Or all of a sudden you realize that there was some smell in the house. If you waited a long enough time, meaning, let's say you went to the bathroom. So by the time you got up, stopped reading Shema, went to the bathroom and came back, that was enough time that you could have waited for the whole Shema. Then you'd have to go back and read Kriya Shema again. And same thing in Birchas Kriya Shema and Shema Esrei, and that's if it's an einus, right? Fine, Yud. That's ask a shayla before you do that because it's complicated. Exactly what's an einus, what's not an einus. Yud Kara Kriya Shema v'nichnas basic knesses. Somebody read Kriya Shema already. And he goes into a shul, and the tzibur is reading Kriya Shema. This happens a lot when you walk into a minyan and you're trying to see what they're up to, and they're up to Shema, etc. You have to read with them the entire Kriya Shema, which is many don't paskin like that, and many hold that you just have to read Shema and Baruch Shem. Shalai Yirak, why do you have to read Shema with them? Shalai Yirak, because if you don't read Kriya Shema, then it seems like you have this whole crew saying Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, and you're not doing it with them. So it looks like 1 second. I don't agree that Hashem is the one. And you'll get schar, you'll get schar as if you're reading the Torah. If you're in the Beis Knesses and they're saying tachnunim or psukim, that places that it's mutter to be mafsik. And let's say you're in a place where you can't answer, so then that we discussed yesterday. But bottom line is the tzibur is up to tachnun, you have to also say tachnun with them. That's what he's saying. Or if they're saying shiramalas, those type of things, you have to say it with them. But let's say you didn't read Kriya Shema yet, and you walked into shul and they're reading Kriya Shema. So the problem is if you have in mind to be yaitza, so now you yaitza Kriya Shema without the brachas, right? Which you don't want to do. So if you didn't yet read Kriya Shema, then you should also read it. But have it in your head that you're not going to be yaitza yechiv so that you read it afterwards with the brachas. Basically, what you do, and this is the same thing you do if you wake up late. and you're not sure if you're going to miss the Zman, so you say Kriya Shema, but you have in your head with a Tanai. If I need to read Kriya Shema now, so then I'm Yotze. If I'm not, if I'm gonna make a minion that's going to down Bizman, Zman Kriya Shema, then I'm going to be Yotze with them. And other things that the Tzibur says, meaning that Tila David means Ashrei, and Aleinu, you have to also say with the Tzibur. But feel piyutim, same thing with piyutim, like in Yom Narayim. If they're saying piyutim, you gotta say along with them. So we see the importance of doing things with the tzibur and not being pirish from the tzibur. Okay, so tomorrow's an off night. I apologize about that, and we'll catch up on Tuesday, B'ezras Hashem. All right, have a good night.